Today we're going to talk about the top 10 myths that trip up first-time home buyers. We don't want you to be a part of that one now, do we? This is Kimberly DiPrima with Option Realty Group. Thanks for joining us again. If you're thinking about buying a home, you've probably received your share of advice from family and friends. Add to that the constant stream of TV shows, news segments, and social media posts that oversimplify the home buying process for easy entertainment. With so much information to sift through, it can be tough to distinguish fact from fiction. That's why we're going to talk about the truth behind some of those common home buyer myths and misconceptions right now. Buying a home is a big decision, but it doesn't have to be a scary one. If you arm yourself with knowledge and a qualified team of support professionals, you'll be well equipped to make the right choices for your family. Don't fall for these common home buyer myths. Myth number 1, you need a 20% down payment. Plenty of buyers are purchasing homes with down payments that are much less than 20% of the cost of the home. Today, you can buy a home with as little as 3.5% with a FHA mortgage. There are also multiple programs out there that allow you to have a lower down payment. But since you're putting less money down, you're a riskier borrower. So make sure you talk to the lender because you want to make sure your credit score and everything's where it needs to be. You'll most likely have to pay a mortgage insurance as part of your monthly payment. Myth number 2, real estate agents are expensive. With your agent with you every step of the way throughout the home buying journey, he or she spends countless hours working on your behalf, right? It sounds like having an agent is expensive. Well, not for you, the buyer. It doesn't cost you anything. The agent's fees are paid for at the closing by the seller, by the sale of the home you're buying. The third myth is don't call a real estate agent until you're ready. Not true. The earlier you bring an agent in to help you with the purchase process, the better it is. They will get you in touch with the right lenders, make sure you have the right mortgage scores, and even make sure you're looking in the right areas. Because sometimes that ideal area you're looking for might be a little out of your reach to help you to find another area that gets all of your requirements in another area as well. Not only that, but we'll of course get you into the MLS and get you the current up-to-date information. The most popular home sites don't have that. We'll set up a search that might take even a few months. Actually, I've worked with one buyer for a year where she saved up enough money for a down payment because what she wanted really was a little bit out of her budget. So she continued living with her parents, saving more and more money so that she could get that townhouse that she wanted with a one-car garage. Actually, it ended up having a 2-car garage in it. But instead of just parking in a parking lot, she really enjoys that now. The fourth myth, fixer-uppers are more budget-friendly. We've all watched those shows on HTV that encourage people to go after fixer-uppers because they're affordable and they allow the buyers to eventually renovate and they include everything on their wish list, right? But this isn't always the case. Sometimes homes that need a lot of work also require a lot of money. Big renovations, add-ons, remodeling a total kitchen. If you're really interested in a fixer-upper, make sure you talk to the agent so that he can show you a mix of newer, up-to-date homes and older homes that are needing a little more help. Make sure you get some quotes from contractors that are going to give you some good information on what it's going to take to do some of the things that you want to do in that home. We want to make sure that the renovations are within your budget. The fifth myth, your only upfront cost is your down payment. Well, your down payment is the big one, but it isn't the only money that you have to spend. Closing costs, and don't forget a home inspector. I wouldn't want you to not have a home inspection. I usually tell people to expect about 4% of the total purchase price needed for their home. This would include things like home insurance, title fees and maybe an attorney fee. So besides for the price of the home, another 4% for those closing costs. Now there are ways to ask sellers to contribute to those closing costs. Your lender's going to require an appraisal. All of those costs will be added to your closing sheet. So that's part of where those closing costs come in. Myth number 6, you need a high credit score to buy your house. Not really. You don't need perfect anything. You're not going to buy a perfect house. There's no perfect, right? There are loans out there for buyers with lower credit scores that you can qualify for. There are good options for people who have credit issues in the past, but some of them may come with some additional fees you will need to pay at closing. So we need to speak with the lender in the beginning. Don't think you can't buy a house. They'll walk you through all of those options that might be best for you. Myth number 7, you can't qualify for a mortgage if you're still paying off student loans. I've had plenty of buyers who've had student loans. Now some buyers may feel they're uncomfortable paying off both things at the same time, but they can take that leap into home ownership. It's not a requirement that when you're applying for a mortgage. The lender takes all of your debt to income into account. It's actually called a debt to income ratio. It takes that into account. So if you calculate this on your own, you have to add up all your monthly payments, divide that by your monthly income. When your lender does this, they're trying to make sure that you'll be able to afford your monthly payments, along with all of your other existing payments, whether that's a car or student loans. If your income is high enough to allow you to make all of these payments each month, having a student loans will not stop you from getting into the mortgage market. Myth number 8, you should base your budget on what your lender approves, not how much home you qualify is how much you can afford are two totally different numbers. When you pre-qualify for a mortgage, your lender is looking at your income, your debt, your assets, your credit score, your financial history to determine how much money you might qualify for. For some people, this number might be much higher than you thought because lenders approve you for the highest amount that they think you can afford. But that doesn't mean that's how much you should borrow. We don't want to eat ramen noodles every day, do we? Instead, you have to figure out how much house you can actually afford. There's online mortgage calculators. That'll be a good first step in determining if you want to spend this much money on a house and have this much money saved for a down payment, and then how much that payment would be. And then you can adjust it from there. Remember, your mortgage payment includes principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. There are expenses with home ownership. They aren't part of your monthly payments like the HOA fees and your maintenance of the home. Myth number 9, it's all about location. We've heard the phrase, location, location, location. I've heard that for years, right? It's basically the real estate industry's motto. But let you in a little known secret. It's not always true. Also need to think about how the home will function for you and your family. Lifestyle. Obviously, you still might want to choose an area with great resale potential when it comes to school districts and commute times. And this is something that your agent can speak to you about. Myth number 10, if you look hard enough, you'll find a house that checks every box off that wish list. You've seen that on those famous house hunting shows, right? And why we have our suspicions about how real that is, the one thing that can get right is that almost every buyer needs to compromise on something. A long wish list can be a great starting point for figuring out what you want and what you don't want. But we recommend narrowing that wish list down to the top 5 things that are important to you in order of priority. We also recommend noting on your wish list what are your absolute deal breakers. Like it must have a yard for the dog. This is a great list to discuss in talking to an agent. Now that we've cleared up some common home buying myths, find out if you know the steps you should take to prepare financially before you apply for a mortgage. See this video up here. Oh yeah, don't forget to get this free buyer's guide that's down in the description below, and how to get your mortgage ready. So if you're looking out here in the Western Burbs, the Fox Valley area, we're here to help. We are advocates on your side. We're here to answer any questions. Feel free to give us a call or drop us a comment down below. If you're interested in all things for home, family, and real estate here in Chicago's Fox Valley area, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. God bless.